Welcome into another episode of YHH's Junior Hockey Pod. I have actually gotten really good feedback on this pod, you guys. So congrats to us. I hope you
No
all
shit, for real.
listening. Yeah, because
Retweet, actually.
Wow.
retweet. Yeah, I hope people are having
Repost.
fun.
My bad. X the everything app, not Twitter. Rest in peace.
X the Everything app. Well, we're back once again for another episode. As usual, I'm Sydney Wolf, joined by Peter Odney and Drew Steele. Lots of big developments this week in the USHL and in a bunch of other leagues and big games as well. It's currently, early, almost mid-December. I don't know about you guys, but I have quite a bit of snow outside of my window. I can't say we got like a full blizzard in the St. Cloud area yesterday, but we definitely got quite a bit. I don't know about Madison. Drew, did you guys get any of the snowstorm the last few days?
Not the last couple days, but I think since Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we got about a foot. And since Thanksgiving, I think we have more snow than we had all last year combined.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably pushing 2 feet on the ground right now. But it's hockey season. We like that. Like the snow looks like I hate driving in it the first couple of days, but once like the roads are cleared, parking lots plowed, sidewalks salted, like it looks pretty and it means it's hockey season finally. I mean, for me, it's been hockey season since about mid-August, but hey, that's junior hockey and we're ready to rip here for the home stretch of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Peter, did you have a snow emergency at your house at all, or was it like not bad?
It's St. Paul, bro. We always have a snow
Snow
emergency. I'm always
emergency.
getting text updates, and they're always like, hey, you need to move your cars to one side.
Oh,
So
sure.
everybody was moving their cars to the side of the street on my street where my house is. And I was shoveling last night, and I look up, and I'm kind of mean mugging this sedan that's pulling up because it looks like my brother-in-law's car. And the poor guy gets out. I have my AirPods in, and he's kind of like waving at me, and I wave back. He says, hey, is it cool if I park here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel unwelcome here on my street. And then this morning, I woke up, I let my dog out, and I see two dudes trying to get a car out of a snow pile, and I watched them shovel all of this snow off the street onto my sidewalk, which I then get to shovel off the sidewalk later that morning. So all of the goodwill that guy generated is it's gone. So now I'm on the warpath. I'm walking around with an ice pick, a shovel. I got my chopper mittens. I got my fur hat. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for winter.
I thought you were saying that you had like the ice pick ready to knock somebody's teeth out if they decided to
No,
shovel it
no, no,
onto
no.
your sidewalk again, which would be warranted. Like I'd be like, okay with that if Peter just turns into
Oh
the
my
modern
gosh.
version of a Viking, uh, taken away from people who are stuck in snowbanks.
Swinging at some poor
Yeah.
guy who's just looking for a place to park his car because he doesn't
Yeah.
have a garage.
Well,
Underground parking here, so I'm okay.
Oh,
well, I
God.
didn't bring up the weather for no reason or just for small talk or anything because we got some weather related news coming out of the USHL. And before we get into it, a big thanks to the USHL as they're one of our sponsors for the show. Obviously, we love talking about the USHL, and we'll talk a little later in the show about some of the exciting developments that the commissioner was talking about recently. Some big developments with the USHL, some big moves it sounds like are in the works. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And again, big thanks to the USHL. And we'll talk about APX in a little bit as well, who are our other show sponsor. But again, I didn't bring up weather for no reason entirely. Because last week we had a game that was postponed because of illness with the flu going around. And now this week there was a game that was postponed due to weather because the snowstorm that was supposed to hit the Midwest was supposed to be super bad. And I know some places did get a lot of snow. I know northern Minnesota got hit pretty bad, but I don't know kind of the other places. I didn't end up getting as much as they thought. But this week, the Youngstown NTDP game was actually postponed. But, you never know. Weather's kind of crazy. So I thought that was kind of funny. Thought I'd put that in there. But we got some big news this week, some big performers and all that stuff. Some of the players of the week, thought I would shout them out. Brock Schultz, a player that a lot of our listeners might be familiar with, East Grand Forks. He's doing really well. I thought I'd bring his name up because he's USHL Forward of the Week. And we talked about it. I want to say it was like our first or second show of this pod ever where he got traded, and it was kind of surprising early on. And now he's just been like really thriving since that trade. He's got 17 points in 11 games now since the trade. So that's just really crazy to me that sometimes, these guys pop off after they get traded, and really cool to see him doing super well, because I believe it's his age out season. So it's kind of, the last make it or break it season, I guess,
Yeah, Brock, we actually had him this week. We had him this weekend, 3 losses, so that usually correlates with the other team getting the player of the week, at least in one category. 7 points in the 2 games between Madison and Sioux Falls for Brock Schultz. So 9-game point streak he had afterwards. Like, yeah, he's been tearing it up. You never know, right? When you have the new fit, like he wasn't really like driving at the beginning of the season. Like you look at his stats with Waterloo, 4 points in 12 games. So like at 4 points in 12 games, trading for a potential starting goalie, that sounds good on paper if you're Waterloo at the time. Looking back, I don't know if that makes the difference with the Waterloo Blackhawks if Brock's still on the team or if Brock goes off like he has now. New look for him, and yeah, they've been cruising right now. They're in first still, I believe, in the West. Let's look. But yeah, no, Brock's been doing well throughout the time. Yeah, they're still in first. They're 5 points clear of second place. So Sioux Falls is in a good spot over there in the Western Conference. But yeah, Brock's no letter on his chest. He was the captain too. That's the part where I think people were like, what, you're trading your captain? But like 4 points in 12 games, you have to consider trading that guy if a starting goalie comes on the market, in my mind. But yeah, good for Brock.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was pretty cool to see him thriving. Obviously, we love to see those Minnesota guys doing super well. So he's killing it. And then another guy too, before I get to the other players of the week that I wanted to mention that has a lot of buzz about him recently is Tynan Lawrence, and talked a little bit about him last week, but he's just been absolutely just like lights out. He was hurt kind of earlier on in the season. So I think people all of a sudden are like, oh, I forgot how good he is, because Corey Pronman's recent NHL draft list came out, and he had Lawrence at number 1. It wasn't Gavin McKenna. It wasn't Keaton Verhoff, guys we talk about on the college pod all the time. It was a Tynan Lawrence in the USHL, which was, a little surprising to some people, but also not that surprising because he's really good. He has 11 points in his last 5 games. He's just lighting it up. And obviously we all know Muskegon has been just kind of a powerhouse lately, because in the standings they're just at the top, which is absolutely wild. And I don't know, have you been able to watch him in person at all, or was he hurt?
He was hurt the weekend. They were here mid-November. Let's say a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago now, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, he's a great player. I do kind of wonder how much, like, if you're one of those beat reporters, if it's just like the click factor, like, ooh, I'm gonna put someone else at the top, so no one's thinking Gavin McKenna's the guy, right? Like, I don't know. Give it a couple months to sort out. If someone still has him at number 1 come March, like, rock on. Like, I know Tynan's been killing it when he is on the ice. Injuries have plagued them so far this year, and luckily he's back on the ice. So hopefully he's able to keep killing it on that side. It looks great for the USHL that a kid that's killing it in the USHL is ranked ahead of a player who's over a point per game at the college level in McKenna, right? Like, I think McKenna going into this season he's the guy. Like, Verhoff might sneak in and grab that at the end of the year, but Lawrence has always been a top 5-10 pick any draft board. So I don't know. I think we talked about it with NHL Central Scouting. How much can you actually look into draft rankings this early in the year? Especially, I think Tynan Lawrence has played 7 games. I'm glad that he's tearing it up, and hopefully he is number 1 overall, because I think what would stick it to the CHL if you're the USHL the most, a kid that didn't leave to go to college from a league that's supposed to develop kids to go to college gets drafted ahead of a team ahead of a player that left a league that's not supposed to develop for college in the past, that left to go to college. So who knows? But I mean, yeah, the same thing with Central Scouting. It's like, at some point, we're just grabbing for clicks. I think that we should put a headline out there that Peter Odney, number 1 overall pick, see what happens. We can throw him at the bumper position. I know we learned about that at the Fall Classic, so we're ready to go. He's a great power play Power play mind here.
That was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I had this question all pegged up, and I got a real education there. Drew's right, though. This is huge for the USHL. Huge to have an advertisement like Tynan Lawrence at number one. There are 3 USHL players in Pronman's top, what is it, 31? I can never tell how many he does because sometimes there's an honorable mention list. So out of the 31, Lawrence is number one. I think it's Jacob, or is it Jakub? Do you know, Drew?
What's the
Vanacek?
last name? Vanacek, I had no clue.
Okay, from
That's
Tri-City.
great.
And then the goaltender from Youngstown, Tobias Treyball, who I don't know if it's Treyball. I'm gonna go with Treyball.
Andre
I think it's a
Treyball.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's better than Tredgeball. Like, that's our other option there, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna go with Treyball. From what I can tell, though, there are 0 players from the NTDP U18 team. Obviously, JP Hurlbert would be one of them if he was still there. But that's typically where the USHL makes its money on NHL draft capital, is claiming the NTDP U18 team and then being able to claim all those kids that get drafted in the first round. So the fact that we're to almost Christmas and there are 0 NTDP U18 players, it's
Yeah.
a little concerning. I think it will change by the time we get to the actual draft, but part of this is advertising, and to have Lawrence at number one is a huge advertisement for not only for the USHL but for Muskegon as well.
I do think that the USHL, besides like the Lawrence one, the Lawrence piece, the couple you mentioned, there's a couple names that I think are going to be big pieces on the development of the league moving forward to see where they go. Jack Hextall in Youngstown's one of them. He was the kid who was a
Massive.
tender last year. If he goes top 20, like if you're a kid looking at the USHL, oh, I should go there. But if somehow Hextall slides to like the 5th round, by no means am I saying Jack Hextall should fall that far, but should he fall to day 2 of the draft, late on day 2? Like, if you're a kid at home, you're probably thinking, oh, like the USHL fell off, where a lot of those kids that will be going that have the CHL title by him, like I'm guessing Nikita Klepos on that list, for example, he'd win up to Canada to play this year, like different names like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some of it is subjective too. Like I think Pronman has a predilection toward Canadian players, whereas I think Scott Wheeler is a little more forgiving with the American players. Those are the 2 guys from the Athletic. I think they do great work. You could not actually, I shouldn't say you couldn't pay me enough, because you could pay me enough to watch draft prospects and
What's the
enough to
number?
rank them. Like,
What's the number it would
what's the
take?
number?
Tony Scott, you better be on watch here.
Tony will
Yeah.
he'll never match this. If you hit me at 6 figures, I would probably do it. But I've done scouting before, just kind of on the side, for not for a real team, but just for a couple of people that had questions about players. Scouting, you gotta love hockey, and scouting is not nearly as much fun as people might think it is. You have to watch everything, even if it's a crappy game and the kid's not on the ice the whole time, and then that's just part of it. Then you have to do all the background work, and Sydney probably knows this better than anybody, because Sydney is
Yeah.
the queen of background work. You could probably open up a little cottage industry there, Sid, if you wanted to
Yeah.
take some of that off a scout's plate.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're the opposite, Peter, because I would love to watch a garbage game and give somebody notes on it. That's where I would sit at the 15s Minnesota camp in the summer every game and sit there and take notes in my notebook while everybody thought I was somebody's sister up there, and nobody would know that it was me.
Okay, hold on. You're
them.
talking like Minnesota HP 15s, right?
Yeah, like the camp at the Herb.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that's an elite camp. All the players there are at least
Oh, I'd
half
watch
decent. I'm saying,
whatever. I don't
Yeah, we
care.
should
if
go
you're
to Pine City Bantams and
I'll go watch
watch their
Pine
whole
City
schedule.
Bantams. I'll go watch Pine City Bantams. Or shout out, they're talking about Mora Malacca last week. Shout out those cities, you know. I live in
No, we
Sacramento.
don't shout out more Malacca. We retract that as
Oh,
a
you guys have
podcast.
beef? Well, Drew,
But we don't really
Stop
have
it.
beef
Drew
because they don't
doesn't.
really have a program that's worth anything. So like, we probably,
Ooh, that's a burn. That's a call out.
Dude, you're mean.
Call out.
I got kicked out of a more Malacca hockey game at one point because
Wow.
after we clinched like our 8th straight conference championship, shout out the Great River, I want to say it was, or Two Rivers. That's what it was, Two Rivers, because they combined conferences. I had a sign that said Muck Fora. The Pine City fans loved it. The Mora fans did not.
Wow, I didn't know there was such beef between Mora Malacca and Pine City. I should have
Not
assumed
really Mora Malacca, just Mora.
it's Mora.
Malacca's an
Okay.
afterthought,
Mora.
kind of with the area part of Pine City. The area part's kind of an
Yeah,
afterthought.
it's Pine City. Yeah, for sure.
Boy, talk about a race to the middle. Beef between Pine City and Mora. Oh wow!
I'll say I will watch any game. I remember when I was working for the Rink Live, there was some high school game. I don't remember even what it was. It was like the St. Cloud Crush playing some team that was not even close to being ranked, like a team with a very losing record. And I remember saying I was going to watch and maybe take some photos. And I remember some of my coworkers were like, "Why are you going to that?" And I was like, "Because I want to. I don't know." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just want to watch some hockey. I don't care how bad it is. Whatever. I'll watch garbage games. Doesn't matter to me. All good."
I
but
could
we'll
point
get-
in the direction of some garbage games.
Oh yeah.
You need to become a beat writer in the USPHL.
Oh
That
god.
should be our goal for you.
Maybe we'll find a piece of news someday about the USPHL to include.
Let's go watch some paid up. Yeah, maybe that we just turn into a USPHL
No,
podcast.
I can't say I've ever actually seen a USPHL game in person. I think there's a team in Minnesota or two.
Oh, there's tons of
I think
teams in
there's
Minnesota.
two. The Minnesota Moose.
Isn't there the Squats or
Isn't there another
something?
one?
I
The
don't know.
Mullets were a team at one point. The Moose, if I'm not mistaken, the
Mullets.
Moose are now an
Oh my
NA3 team.
Maybe
So that
people
they jump leagues all the time.
You're a
My
USPHL
Bite
fan.
my tongue.
Listen.
shout out the all-time leading scorer at Pine City High School, Jonah Bergstrom. He's a Moose legend.
Shout out.
We watched one game in college of him playing, and the stream fell apart 30 seconds in, and he scored with 29 seconds into the game. So my buddies thought Jonah Bergstrom was Wayne Gretzky, and the Pine City record books would reflect that 225 points for Jonah Bergstrom. Shout out Bones.
Wow, this is already.
I interviewed him once a long time ago.
He was in my wedding this summer. He's one of my groomsmen. So yeah,
Did
shout
really?
out Bones.
Didn't he get cancer or something?
Cystic
That's what it was.
fibrosis.
I was trying to remember why.
Yeah.
Cystic fibrosis. That's what it was.
So I think it's something you consistently beat. But yeah, I mean, he got more news coverage than our basketball team at the time. And our basketball team was in the Wall Street Journal. So it was between the two at the time because, yeah, shout out Kyle Allen. The threes are worth more than twos. They only shot 3-pointers and layups. And the Wall Street Journal wrote a story about it. He's now the head basketball coach at New Richmond. So we're all over the board.
Wow.
We might as well just turn this into a Pine City podcast for 15 minutes to pod, because I think it probably gets us at least 2,500 listeners, because that's about 1,000 less than the population in Pine, and it's a hockey city.
If you're not the mayor of Pine City within 10 years, something is very wrong with Pine City area.
See, the problem is I don't live in Pine City. When I'm back at home, I'm Pekegma Township through and through, so I'd have to be the town hall leader. I don't know what they call that, though.
Wow. Well, we're getting deep into some tangents here, which I love it, but we'll keep it going here.
We're 20 minutes in.
It started with
one thing on the itinerary.
Genuine question. How did we get from Tynan Lawrence to me being the town hall commissioner?
To loop it back around, you mentioned earlier, Peter, Tobias Treyball, which Drew, then you said Andre Treyball. Shout out St. Cloud State, former defender. I don't know if they're related. Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Andrej
Treyball. If you
this is Tobias Treyball. He's the USHL goalie of the week. And APX advising client actually shout out Wyatt Harris, the USHL defender of the week. And to kind of tie this back in, Harry's?
Aries. It's like an air, air that you breathe.
And it said hair in all caps ISS. Who is making these pronunciation guides?
Every time I've had it, it's been Wyatt Aries is what I've been told to say. So,
oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, and that might be wrong too. Don't get me wrong. That.
No, I mean I'm checking because we've already done this with some other players where we're like,
yeah. Let me look, because we had them earlier this year.
You can't see my phone screen, but it says all capital hair -ISS.
trying to find the Waterloo roster from
So,
back in.
I'll have to ask his advisor because, like I said, he's I want to say shout out to our sponsor APX Hockey as well because Wyatt is an APX advising client, and he's one of those guys where we talk about Brock Schultz thriving after a trade. He's also been doing really well after getting traded super recently, actually. But you look at his stats; he had 2 points for Waterloo. I hate to say this, but guys getting traded from Waterloo are doing pretty good right now because now he's got 4 points in 4 games for Chicago. I want to say he had like 2 primary assists this weekend on some big goals for them, and he's just been doing pretty good. He had 5 shots and was +4 this weekend, so good weekend for him. And again, shout out our other sponsor, APX Hockey. You can go to our website, apx-hockey.com. I just did a story on Teddy Lechner, whose rights I believe are to Muskegon. You can read all about that. Fun fact in the story you can read about, he actually told me he spent 2 or 3 years as a goalie in youth hockey and then switched over to D. Fun fact.
Rock on. It's Harris, by the way. I don't know where I got Aries. Maybe that's what that might just be our coaches calling him Wyatt Aries for years. I don't know, but
That's funny.
the pronunciation guide I got in September from Tim Harwood.
Maybe it changed.
Yeah, the voice of the Waterloo Blackhawks said, in fact, it not only said Harris, the name was wrong on the thing, and it said Wyatt Harris. Like they doubled down on it being Harris. So
Wow.
shout out Harris, Minnesota, I-35 hotspot with a rest stop on the way.
Wow, love it. So those are your players of the week. Finally get through that. Circling back to some Minnesotans here, I saw a cool picture that I just wanted to give a little note here that Finn and Cade de St. Hubert finally got to play each other in the USHL. Because Finn's been in the USHL for a while, but Cade had been playing in the BC, so they weren't playing in the same league. And I saw them, like, the picture of them standing side by side with, like, the nameplates on the back. So I thought that was kind of cool that they got to face off because Cade had been playing, I want to say it's for Trail in the BCHL, and now he's playing in the USHL. So cool to see them both there now. And now kind of for like the big news of the week, I didn't listen to this whole thing, but Drew, I know you listened to it, and Peter, I don't know if you heard some clips from it either, but some recent info came out from the USHL commissioner that gave, shed some light on a lot of different things we'd been talking about recently, like the new buildings that are in the works, looking at expansion and different markets with that and everything. So Drew, I don't know, do you want to give us maybe a rundown of some of the things you found interesting from that? Or Peter, I don't know if you listened to any clips from that either.
Yeah, I mean, you go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, because I have less to say than you do. I saw the quotes. I did not listen to the episode. I apologize to our friends at the USHL. I'm not an avid listener of the U show. I apologize. So, Drew, I'm going to let you wax poetic here. We are at the 23:20 mark of recording. Let's see how long it goes.
Oh yeah, we can go for as long as you want. Should I just read the transcript of the pod that he had? It was actually not the U show, it was Morning Cup of Hockey, but it was with Johnny Lazarus, who does both. The first one that I think is probably the most pertaining to Minnesota would be Mason West is set to make his season debut this weekend. There's pictures of him going around that he was in Fargo last week. He didn't play this weekend, but the commissioner and Johnny Lazarus will be there for his season debut, is what they said. He's projected to make that. So that would be the first thing I'd kind of hit on. The second one, I think we've seen a ton of rumors about what the NJHL or NTDL were. He kind of put those rumors to bed about it being the USHL changing the name, about it being like the 4th major junior league. Like a lot of what he said was that the name's probably not changing because he loves the branding, right? Like that's part of the reason. He kept quoting that it was future business ventures for the league. So whether that means the National Team Development League means that they're going to start a different league underneath the USHL, and JHL could be something like that too, where they just need another name for a league because you're not going to call it the USHL 2 like they do with all the leagues in Europe. So that was the number 2 kind of thing that I know we had considered talking about the past couple of weeks, but there wasn't anything actually new. You had a bunch of people out there assuming stuff. There was a couple like advisors and that sort of thing, kind of going out on a limb and saying, this is what I think it could be. So Glenn kind of put that to bed. Glenn was doing the whole thing from Colorado Springs, giving the USHL State of the League to the NHL Board of Governors, which was the first time that's ever happened. So obviously, I think that's a step forward for the league when you go and have that chance to present to the NHL. So cool on that side. A couple other things. We talked about the buildings last week, Chicago, Madison next year. Des Moines, who just moved into a new building. So that could be the surprise factor there. I thought it was a different team on the surprise one, but I am still kind of surprised by Des Moines moving into a new building because they just moved into one, but they're building a third cheat onto that same facility specifically for the Buccaneers, along with Lincoln in the next handful of years. Will be there and getting new arenas. And then the last one where it's kind of super notable. Well, actually, I have one that's like more fun at the end we'll throw in. But the last one that's like super notable to me is he said there will be expansion by 2027. It didn't seem like it was we might expand, have puck drops on their season by 2027. It sounded definite 2027. And then he also dropped the city. The Capitals of Madison are moving out of Middleton, Wisconsin. So they needed some sort of Middleton. So they throw a W in there. Middletown, Ohio, suburb of Cincinnati, the hockey hotbed of Cincinnati, as Peter referred to it. As in our text exchange. Text exchange. Wow, I talk. But text exchange was one where he said there will be shovels in the ground soon. So it sounded like that will be one for sure. I don't know what the number to get to is. I would imagine it's probably 20 would be the goal. He said West Coast potential. He said Middle America potential. He did say with the Middletown, Ohio one was travel played a big part in why that market was chosen. If you add a team in Las Vegas, I'm taking a guess that travel's not taken into consideration there as much as Middletown, Ohio. The one that I really like that I kind of want to kind of open up the discussion, we talked about cross play between the USHL and the Canadian Hockey Leagues. Glenn, shout out Pearl coming into the shot here. Glenn actually said that he would want that. So he would sign off on any cross league play just to kind of compare for NHL scouting purposes, was kind of the way he put it. I have been long for that we should be doing some sort of cross league play just to show where the USHL's at. I think the Canadian leagues probably would want it as the dog's all over it here. But I think the USHL should want that because I think the leagues would compare better than the Canadian leagues want to lead on. I think that the model here is working. And obviously top players are heading that direction. Pearl, get off me. We're done with that. We're done with the dog on top of me there. But it's been it was a good little segment. And I think he was on for 20 minutes and I just went on for 5-6 minutes about it. So we're getting there. Like we almost read the transcript, but we gave the spark notes on it. We're ready to rip. Lots of fun stuff to take away from it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of news. You can go listen to it if you want more details on it. And yeah, the Middletown, pretty much in between Cincinnati and Dayton, if anyone kind of knows where those places are. So
they're in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. Shout out Ohio.
Love Ohio, the great state of the most presidents have come from Ohio. I think that's still true.
Okay.
Did any come from Pawnee, Indiana, or were they just in a different
Shout
city
out
in
Pawnee,
Parks and Rec? Yeah. Or were they in a different city in Parks
No,
and
they're
Rec?
from Eagleton.
Got it. Did you just spoil the end of Parks and Rec for me?
What?
You just spoiled the end of Parks and Rec for me.
By saying that there were presidents from Pawnee? William Henry Harrison, dude, is the one I was referring
Pawnee,
to.
Indiana?
Yeah, well, I don't think Pawnee is a real city, but they acted like there was a William Henry Harrison museum in Pawnee.
I have no
But
idea.
I might have spoiled the end. There might be more than one. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'd assume they're from Eagleton, obviously.
Peacock
he was
needs
born
to
in Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, Pawnee's a fake city, so they could probably make up anything. I mean,
Wait,
if I
Pawnee's
did
fake?
spoil it, my
We're
bad.
doing
You're a couple of
Parkland
years late.
shout-outs. Yeah. I love
Peacock does need to become a partner of Youth Hockey Hub, though, as I throw Troy for a pearl. But we do need Peacock to sign on so we could get Sunday Night Football on the YHH. Why not? We'll have Mike Tirico hosting the podcast instead of me next week. But hey, we're all for it.
Literally anybody but Mike Tirico.
Okay, Al Michaels. Yeah, that'd be a great guest. We could get guests.
No, not Al either. Not Al.
Well, he's not on
Al
NBC anyway. He's on Prime.
I want Chris Collinsworth.
You want the slide in?
Who doesn't want Chris Collinsworth? I was also wrong. Virginia has produced the most presidents, 8.
That makes sense. I feel like I should know that. I went to Virginia like 2 years ago. I feel like I learned that at some point. I don't know. Okay. Getting us back on track.
Should we talk about hockey?
Obviously, we love to talk about that. Kind of going back to hockey here. I don't have a good segue again. I'm the queen on this show of not good segues after those tangents. The World Junior A Challenge is now going on. I believe it goes for a couple more days here. We're recording on Wednesday. I think it goes through the weekend or somewhere around there. A couple games have been played already. Quick updates on those. USA lost the first game, 4-1 loss to Canada East. They played Canada East and West. The only goal for the U.S. was from Colin Frank, but shout out Madison Capitals, Caleb Heil and net for that one.
I think a couple of empty netters. I obviously want to back my goalie up, so I think there were a couple of empty netters there on that one. I think it was 2-1 down the stretch. And
they actually outshot Canada kind of by a lot. It said shots were like 53-29 or something crazy. So Canada's goalie must have just been on a tear, I guess, that game and just been playing crazy. And then game 2, obviously USA does a bit better, 7-1 win over Sweden. Ryan Cameron in net makes 29 of 30 saves. Colin Frank gets a hat trick, so he's been tearing it up during this weekend. Blake Zelensky, 2 goals and an assist. And then some Minnesotans people might know, Ashton Schultz and Brent Solomon had 1+1, and then Lindbergh and Pilgrim both had an assist. So a couple Minnesotans doing pretty well, and I believe they play Canada West tonight, the day that we're recording, and semifinals are later this week. So by next week, if we record, we'll know the results, but always good to see some of our Minnesotan guys doing well. Love to see that.
John Stout's the captain of that team. Sorry, I just want to throw that in.
Oh, was that another Madison player?
Yeah, but it's also a player for the United States of America. That's what's more important. He's wearing a C.
The U.S. is beating Canada West 1-0 right now. Our boy Mason Fleece has got the goal and the assist going to Bodie Leyland, who I'm convinced is 49 years old and has played 17 years in the USHL at this point, and Blake Zelensky. So Zelensky tearing it up.
Nice. Sweet. Awesome. Well, another kind of international type tournament that's happening right now, just started though, is, I don't know how to say this. I do not speak Finnish. I'm so sorry. The Virumaki Cup. I don't need to touch on it too much, but the NTDP U17s are playing in that. And I just saw, I think it was today, the day that we're recording, they took a 4-1 win over Finland. And kind of cool. Nolan Fitzhenry got 2 goals, so shout out to him. Eli Winters with the win in net, and then I think there was an empty net goal later in the game as well. So Fitzhenry doing really well. I know I've seen a lot of Gopher accounts going like, we need to get Fitzhenry because everybody's going to want him because he's such a good player. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how they do. And we had a lot of commitments this week, you guys. A lot of notable ones I wanted to throw in here.
Many commitments.
Whether it's Minnesotans or just like big name players or just guys with interesting tidbits that I wanted to throw in here. I thought we'd start with Minnesotan Cash Cruitt committing to Quinnipiac. And when this happened, you guys, usually when there's a Minnesotan commit, I'll text with Tony about it briefly. And we were talking, I don't think there's been a Minnesotan on the Quinnipiac roster since maybe Odin Tufto. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years. They've been a team recently who hasn't had many. I think when they played Minnesota for the national championship game, they had no Minnesotans on their roster. So not super common. They get Minnesotan recruits, but Drew, I don't know. What have you seen from Cash? He's got a great name. We've talked about it before in the past. He's had a great goalie helmet when he was in his younger days. I don't think he has it anymore, sadly, but
No, he doesn't. He still has the $sign as the S. It says Cash across the bottom. I kind of
nice.
like that. But yeah, no, it's super cool for Cash. Go to a team that used to that won a national championship a handful of years ago, right? Like you go to a program when you commit to a college, you want it to be a program that you think can win, but also can develop you. And I think Quinnipiac's got a good track record of both. But yeah, no, I'm super pumped for Cash. He's actually had a chance to play now, right? Like Caleb's been in net for Madison for almost every game. I think Cash had 3 starts before this past weekend. Started Friday and Saturday. Like no games went our way this weekend, but nice to have that kind of broke up in the middle by a commitment on a Saturday. So yeah, no, I'm pumped for Cash. Cash is a great kid, kind of a quiet kid. Usually, I think goalies, I either think they're super quiet or they're like super goofy loud. And I think Cash definitely falls in the quiet camp, at least from what I've seen. But yeah, no, super pumped for him and pumped for his career. Tall guy. Like they say 6'5". There's no way he's only 6'5". Like I look.
He's 6'6", I think.
Yeah, I don't know what he is.
Rated 6'5". It's an actual 6'5", is what I like to
Yeah.
say. Because sometimes when they say that, I'm like, is it? But he's one of those guys who it's legit. Well, people would know him from his time at Andover, and he's a guy too. He's young, so he'll have his time, I'm sure, as a starter in the USHL in the future for plenty of time because he would have been a senior in high school this year. So he's a young player. Another young player who's been pretty good. That was a big name commitment recently, not a Minnesotan, but Braden Scuderi, I believe is how you say his name, committed to Notre Dame. He's one of the top young prospects in the USHL, so some people were really pumped if they're Notre Dame fans to see that he committed there because that was a big get for them because he's only 16 years old and he's got 11 points so far for Cedar Rapids. And I know he was a stud for Mount St. Charles and was one of those guys that a lot of people thought was going to make the NTDP and then ended up not playing with them, although he is playing with them right now in Finland for that cup we were talking about. But he's one of those like big name players. So I thought that was kind of obviously good for any Fighting Irish fans because that's a big name commitment for them to get.
Whatever his height says, he's not all of whatever. He's definitely lying on his height. He's a short little guy, but hey, good for him. I'm glad he's got the commitment.
Hey,
I know we were talking about the height one way, but you definitely got to talk about it the other way with Scuderi there. Still time to grow. He's 16.
Yeah, he's so young. There's some of those guys where I'm like, they could grow. You never know. I think it's on Elite Prospects it says 5'7", so that's probably pretty accurate, I assume.
Yeah, that might be accurate. I would actually assume that that's accurate, if not a little short.
Okay, and do we know for sure if he's Rob Scuderi's son?
Do we know for sure? I'm sure.
I'm checking his Elite Prospects right now. It's buffering.
Rob Scuderi.
I mean,
I just look up Braden Scuderi dad on Google, and it says Robert John Scuderi, born December 30th, 1978.
Yes, it does. I confirmed it from NJ, New Jersey, I assume, NJ.com. Scuderi is the son of
Stanley. I love NJ.com.
Rob. Yes.
I'm a subscriber.
It's my favorite. Yes, it's my favorite state-based news outlet.
I really love the crossword in the Sunday edition.
Well, I can't actually read the whole story because
do it in pen.
Yeah.
So I can't actually read it. But
good for Braden Scuderi.
Oh, you should use my login. Sorry, I said I was a subscriber.
Switching things, not New Jersey, switching over to a player from Illinois. This was kind of another big commitment. Elliot Gully of Green Bay, which is kind of interesting. He just committed to Union. I was just looking at Green Bay's line chart like a week or two ago and was like, I wonder where he's going because he's been good for Green Bay this year. He's a 05 forward from Illinois, so he'll age out after this year. But he wore the C in the null last year, playing the majority of the year for Wisconsin, and now he's wearing the C in Green Bay, so obviously a leader out on the ice. And he's currently leading the Gamblers in scoring, so I was assuming he was going to commit somewhere. And fun fact, was doing some digging as I do with stats. He's got a plus 25 this year, which is like the best in the entire league, which is kind of crazy. So seems to me like Union's got a good player to come in next year. So that's kind of cool to see, because plus 25, I was like, wow, that's pretty big. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's leading the league. So duh. All right. Speaking of big name players, Anthony Thomas Maroon commits to Western Michigan, obviously related to dad Pat Maroon. So obviously that's a nice get for the reigning national champs. They also picked up too, I added this in there, a player from the Dub who's a third-round draft pick of the Oilers. So big week for Western Mich. They pick up a couple of good commits and a draft pick, and then Anthony Thomas Maroon's pretty young. He's an 08. So I assume it'll be a while for him before he gets out to campus. But they're picking up some good recruits now. I mean, Western's kind of on a heater. They win the national title, and now they're just kind of picking up some really good recruits. So watch out for the Broncos. They're pretty good.
Yeah, and Anthony Thomas Maroon, Pat Maroon's kid, like you mentioned. Pat Maroon listed as an assistant coach for the Muskegon Lumberjacks. That's a little fun tie-in in case you fans at home want to dive deeper into that. I don't know how much he's there, but he is. This is a zoo here right now with the
Hi,
dog on top.
Love it.
We got the headphones in, so she can't hear. But Pearl's all over. Pearl, you tell your thoughts on Pat
Shout
Maroon,
out Pearl. Shout out
But-
Pearl.
Shout out Pearl, dude.
Pearl might be the episode MVP so far.
Love
Cuts me off from going on long tangents. Western Michigan should get whatever kid out of Muskegon they want right now with the new building coming.
True.
That should be the easiest tie-in of all time. Hey, we know you like it here. You have success in the west of Michigan. Let's continue that success in the west of Michigan. Although Western Michigan ideally should be in the UP because that's the furthest west Michigan gets. Just a thought.
Wow, hot take. Well, speaking of Michigan, Northern Michigan getting another commit with Sal Viviano. I just thought this one was interesting because he's a guy, he's got 21 points in 22 games this year, even though it's his first year in the USHL, which is kind of rare for guys to come in right away and make that impact. But there's a lot of Northern Michigan commits right now on the Waterloo team, including Rio Traharn, who's a Minnesotan, and then also Avery Lalaberty, who's also on the team. So it looks like Waterloo's picking up or Northern Michigan's picking up a couple of Waterloo guys recently. So if you're a NMU fan, you might want to just start watching the Blackhawks more and more because you've got a handful of recruits on that team.
Yeah, Viviano actually started the year with Cedar Rapids, like in camp with Cedar Rapids. Didn't make the Rough Riders and got traded to Waterloo. So
Wow.
that's cool to see. That's a nice little story for sure.
And then a couple of commitments that aren't USHL guys, but I wanted to shout them out because obviously I know Grand Forks isn't Minnesota, but close enough. You know, a lot of our listeners are going to know a lot of the Grand Forks top players too. We had a couple of commitments, both Grand Forks Red River alums, so big week for them here over the last week. Luke Bedell commits to Long Island. He's actually the Null forward of the month. He's had a big year so far. He's leading the Anchorage Wolverines in scoring with 38 points in 24 games. And I saw one of his goals from a few weeks ago, and it was just like a gnarly between the legs type thing. And I was like, wow, he's tearing it up. Top 5 scorer in the Null, and just cool to see him doing well because he's one of those guys where if you look up his elite prospects page, he's really like bounced around a lot. And it's always nice to see those guys find success. Like after playing at Grand Forks Red River, he played in the SJHL for a year for the Melville Millionaires. And then sometimes those guys play one season up there and they quit. I see that quite a bit when guys will play like one season up in Canada and then they don't make another roster and they kind of give up. But he kept with it, played 3 games in Minot, and then played a couple games with Colorado, and then played in the BC for the last chunk of the season, and then was in Anchorage this year, so playing in Alaska. So obviously that's some dedication to keep moving around that much. And now he's going to be playing hockey in Long Island next year. So he's playing hockey in a lot of places.
Well-traveled.
Yeah. And
duffel bags beat up.
Yeah, for sure. But
do you think you put Null forward of the month on your resume, say like in 10 years when you have like accolades? Yeah, he should. He should be
LinkedIn
updated.
says null forward of the month.
And it should say open to opportunities, right? Like if an NHL team wants to sign this kid, they should definitely like have open to opportunities on LinkedIn. I'm just trying to give
Open to
good
work.
advice out there. Yeah, exactly. Open to work.
Well, open to work. Yeah.
Yeah, like make
Hey,
sure
I'm
that
all about that
LinkedIn's
LinkedIn
ready.
page. If any of our listeners want to connect on LinkedIn, send me a request. Shout out.
You're gonna have some weirdos signing up to request you on LinkedIn.
That's
So
fine. Gotta get all the connections. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Shout out.
it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And LinkedIn's the place to do it all. No
Oh,
free ads, but if LinkedIn wants to sign up, let's get them on.
Time out here. Sorry for the F-bomb. You guys actually like LinkedIn?
No.
Hey, we're very active.
Okay,
on
good. I
LinkedIn
was saying I
at
hate
APX
LinkedIn.
Hockey. We have a good formula on there of posting our content. So shout out.
I hear there's a competition when everyone was required to get a LinkedIn. I hear there was a competition to see who could get the most connections.
The most? I don't know if there's a competition, but definitely that's a skill of mine I've been trying to do better on because
What are you at?
I had a LinkedIn page I created in college and then I didn't really do anything with it. And then obviously
Gotta look up
when
sitting on
rank
LinkedIn
5
right
went
now.
under, I had to update it. And then obviously now the team
500
is a lot
plus.
better. Yeah, I got a lot of connections, so shout out.
Not a big deal though. After you get to 500 though, you don't get to
Oh,
see
I'm
how
way
many you
past
have.
500 at this point. If anyone
Not
wants to connect,
not a big deal.
send
Me and Sid
a
are
request.
connected on LinkedIn.
We are connected. Shout out.
I have 480 connections, but 535 people follow me. Now I don't know what that
Wow,
means,
I don't know.
but
I'm not
but
that good
that
at
means
LinkedIn.
I have people at the door waiting to connect with me, and I'm having to kick them to say no, like kick them to the curb. Sorry, this is an elusive club that of people I'm actually connected with here.
I love to repost all of our stories on there because obviously I want to share my content and our content, but otherwise I'm not super LinkedIn savvy besides the like and repost. And obviously my own post button. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but shout out LinkedIn. Obviously, send me a connection request. I'm down. I'll accept it.
I have
Hey, shout out to
95 connections.
the junior hockey pod's been on my LinkedIn. Not a big
Nice.
deal.
Nice.
Oh,
I should put it
wow.
on mine. I should put it on mine.
I literally said with hockey being this is a month ago with hockey being back, I'm proud to share I've expanded my role with Youth Hockey Hub.
Wow. Nice. Shout out.
I don't wanna message
finally
any of
realized
these
this was
people.
they finally realized this face and this hairdo was for in front of the camera and not behind.
Oh, wow. You guys ever get like the LinkedIn updates where it says add this person to your network and they're a former boyfriend or girlfriend?
No.
That never happens to you guys? Okay, just asking. Me either. I was just wondering.
Hey, that's when you
Yeah,
have to connect. Send connection request. Make it
Like,
funny.
add this person to your network. No, I'm good.
Is that like
Good,
on
thank
Facebook where it's
you.
like people you may know and you're like jump scared and you're like, nope, delete.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't use
No,
Facebook.
don't.
That is for the olds.
For the Facebook?
The
I
old.
do.
You're like 42, Drew.
For the olds.
I'm 42, eh? How old do you think
You're
I am,
younger than
Peter?
me. I think you're like 28.
26, close.
You're
Wow.
26 years old.
I'm a
Oh my God,
99 birth year.
You have so much to learn about just how painful this existence can be, Drew.
That's so
Hey,
evil.
shout out
Why are
though.
you so evil?
Yeah, it is very evil. I've been working with the Youth Hockey Hub for years at this point though. Like I'm not on camera a ton, but like shout out the PC Tourney boys back in the day. Like we were Youth
That's
Hockey
why I
podcast.
think you're so old.
That's a podcast that was under the umbrella for years, and I was editing pods for years. Me and Tony Scott go way back. Me and Danny Ryan, shout out the fella Carl on the Zoom every time, making the audio kind of crackle. Shout out, but yeah, shout out Youth Hockey Hub. I know we give ads.
Yeah.
We give ads to
Add to
USHL and
ourselves?
APX. Let's give ads to ourselves. Why not? Go check out all Peter's work.
Oh my god.
I pumped the
Check out
Caps
my
tires.
competing website that I started under a
This
pseudonym.
this is getting off the rails. So I'm
I
gonna
pump all the Cap stuff. We might as well pump all the Youth Hockey Hub stuff.
So I'm gonna put us back on track here.
Yeah, put us on track. Wow. Put us on track.
Another.
Don't forget to add me on LinkedIn though.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out Grand Forks Red River again, because we are gonna say, Drew, shout out Watertown Shamrocks and Blake Tyson out in Watertown, because Carter Spruill commits to UConn. And this is an interesting one for any of our Null fan listeners, because he's a great player right now for the Shamrocks. He's actually going to UConn this winter break. He's going to join them for the second semester. I heard they had some injury issues, so he's going to go like help round out their roster. He's actually their leading scorer right now in Watertown. Got 30 points in 19 games, so kind of cool. And obviously the Huskies looking to fill a spot there, since I know they got some injuries that have been happening. So he's going to be joining the ranks of college hockey here very soon.
We want inside baseball on the Watertown Shamrocks. This is the second big loss that the Watertown Shamrocks have had this year. Junior Podine left the Shamrocks to go play in the BCHL a couple of weeks ago. At the time, he was one of their best players. Now, Spruill leaving to go into school. Like, obviously, it's something, if you're a null team, you're pumped when a kid goes to the D1 level at any respect, because it's something you can add to your program. Like, hey, we advance kids to D1. But it is tough when two of your top players leave the program midseason.
Wow, speaking of LinkedIn, connection request from Peter Odney. Wow.
Let's go.
On that LinkedIn grind.
I requested to connect with Peter and have not gotten a response. So,
wow.
Yes, you have.
No, have I?
Yes, you have. It says that I can. Oh, there you go. You just sent it. I just got it. Hold on. It's on my phone. Hold on a second. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna hit that little check mark.
That's crazy.
Drew is now a connection. Wow. This is hard hitting.
Hard hitting.
Watch out.
Managing
minutes. Here we come.
That is all I had for commitments. There was only one decommitment I wanted to talk about. Not a Minnesotan, but a notable player, Christian Kirsch. He's actually a goalie in the O right now, but he was kind of a big name guy because he was a 4th-round pick of San Jose, committed to UMass a while ago. Now decommitted, I saw from a couple different sources. He's a tall goalie, 6'4". He's from Switzerland, and I believe he's played for them for World Junior. So that's a goalie who's back on the market, and he actually spent most of the year in the Null, I want to say, last year. So kind of a guy who's bounced around a little bit, but gonna have to keep your eye on where he ends up, because that's an interesting prospect there. And he's doing pretty good right now for Kitchener, I want to say it is. Got like a .902 save percentage, so doing pretty good. And then a couple other notes here. love our note sheet. One shout out here. I'm sure people saw this on Twitter, but Xavier Went got in the dub recently, Minnesotan here. He got a shutout and a goalie goal in the same night, which is very crazy. I saw a clip of the goalie goal and was like, wow, like obviously that's so rare, but he also had a shutout in the same game, which is crazy. So that's awesome to see. It's very rare you get a goalie goal, and also rare to get a shutout. So combine them together. I don't know how often that's happened. So that's really cool. Another Minnesotan here before I get to one other sort of random note. Michael Mikan selected recently to the BCHL All-Star Weekend. Kind of cool. STA grad, Harvard commit. So that's cool. Good for him. I know he's been having a good season. I want to say it's in Okotoks. And then one other random commit I'd throw in here, but I didn't know much about him, was the leading goal scorer in the Q committed to Vermont recently. So shout out Catamounts. Yeah. That's a big get for them. And I'm not even going to try to say any names.
Let's try it. Felix Laserte. That's more Spanish than French.
I don't think it's Laserte. I'm pretty sure it's Felix Laserte.
I bet it's Felix
Laserte.
I don't know.
Vermont and New Hampshire.
In German. I don't have French.
Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine should only consist of CHL players.
Yeah.
Or not CHL players, Q players
Yeah.
specifically. They should get all the best Q players to go to those schools because it's right there.
And actually, I have a YHH random connection to Duolingo.
Go.
You know who's really on Duolingo apparently is Kayla.
Oh, I bet. That sounds right up her alley, dude.
I'm not connected with
People that
Kayla
are
on
always
LinkedIn.
killing it on Duolingo. I'm okay on it, but I'm not like high level, like getting all these points or whatever. It says she's killing it, and also my grandpa, very into Duolingo. So it always tells me they're both like achieving all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm slacking off. I guess I need to do more lessons. The owl's gonna be sad at me because I'm not doing enough.
It's not like you have anything else going on in your life.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely.
I keep expecting a baby to like start crying or
she's
start saying, "Hurry up!"
You might not be able to hear it. Shout out. For an activity this morning, we were going through my box of press credentials, and she was putting them all on one by one. That was very entertaining.
Oh my gosh, that sounds adorable.
So that was very entertaining. And looking at old line charts that I saved. So that's very fun. My very nerdy box of old paper line charts. Love it. Yeah, and box of lanyard credentials.
Yeah, I don't have a YHH credential yet, eh?
I have
one.
We
were talking about it. I don't have any YHH swag, and on this podcast, I'm the second longest tenured YHH employee.
Yeah, I'm like newer.
I like that. Let's see if I have a cooler one here. I got one of these bad boys.
Oh, I got a couple. I have like a whole box of those.
I have some good ones there. Not with me currently. Drew, did we have any good memes you wanted to show at all this week before we wrap up the show? Got any good videos?
Yeah, I got a couple. Chippewa and Janesville kind of got after it. I muted this video for some expletives, but it came from on the ice to off the ice, and the coaches were screaming and yelling at each other. Midway through this, you might see a Cold Stone notification pop up. Great deals going on there. But yeah, shout out to Janesville's head coaches, along with Chippewa's head coach. You can see Lenny there, Janesville's head coach, and you can see him kind of yelling with the refs. In the very background, you can kind of see the Chippewa coaches as well. So that's kind of the video I got of the NA at that level. But I also have one meme. Waterloo had a SpongeBob jersey this past week, and I know we suck this year, but imagine getting pieced up by a dude in a SpongeBob jersey. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Hashtag Go Hawks. Ryan, that's a nice post. I like that post, Ryan. Not a top contributor yet, though. We need to get Ryan the badge on the group chat.
It, man.
Wow.
We have some sick jerseys dropping tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to jump in.
No, I just said I love some of those theme nights. And you also said Cold Stone, Drew. Fun fact, I worked at Cold Stone for about 3 months one summer.
All oven, no oven. That's the way to go. I'll love it. All oven, no ovens.
I ate a lot of gummy sharks.
Oh, dude, don't bring them up.
Or the benefits.
So bad.
Genuine. This might make me change career paths. What are the benefits at a Cold Stone Creamery?
No, I worked there like the summer after high school as like an 18-year-old for like literally just the summer. So,
you don't remember the benefit? Like I'm saying, I don't need health insurance. I'm talking ice cream. The benefits that matter.
Free ice cream on your shift. I don't know. I don't think
it might be worth quitting my day job.
They're pretty. I think the one I was working for was owned by like a local person, so it was like kind of like small business vibes. I don't know if that's
they're franchised out.
Yeah, I mean we should.
I was slinging ice cream. Oh no, it was after my first year of college, I think, because I was slinging ice cream and I was selling shoes at Journeys at the same time.
That's a combo. Yeah. We should consider doing a live show.
I changed it up, and then I was working at KVSC and UTVS at St. Cloud State, and then I also worked at Savers thrift store for a summer as well.
I would so much rather work at Journeys than Savers.
We should consider doing a live show at a Cold Stone Creamery.
Was wild.
I'm just saying.
A live show at a Cold Stone Creamery?
Well, I think that's the only place
Cold Stone becomes a sponsor.
I mean, to be fair, they showed with the amount of money I could put into it. If we're at a live show, they should be paying me to go there.
if I worked at Cold Stone, you know the show The Summer I Turned Pretty? That was all the rage.
Yeah.
That would be, if I worked at a Cold Stone, that would be the summer I gained 1,000 pounds. I love Cold Stone.
You went
Creamery.
a completely different direction there. I thought you were going to say the summer I turned shitty, which would have been
No.
That would have been a great combo.
No,
But the shock factor.
I battle my lactose intolerance. It doesn't battle me. I bring the fight.
Wow.
I bring the fight to my GI tract, Drew. I don't let it dominate my life.
Do you want a hot take here that I've heard on the internet and I kind of believe too?
Is it about lactose intolerance?
I think everybody's lactose intolerant.
I'm definitely not lactose
I think people. You don't feel worse after you eat dairy food, just like in general.
My household drinks so much milk.
Yeah, it's because you're accustomed to it. But like, if you just threw milk into your diet like once a week, like I feel like you'd feel like shit too. Like, you know what I mean?
Mostly like milk and bread and like cheese. So like, I'm definitely not lactose intolerant. Like,
we buy whole milk by 2 gallons at my house, and I'm the only one that drinks it.
Yeah, we have whole milk and skim milk constantly at our house. We have both.
Why do you have both?
Who drinks skim milk?
Oh,
yeah, get water out of the tap.
I have whole milk in my coffee and mostly for my daughter. And also skim milk is really good in the middle of the night, just like a chug of skim.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's water. It's
but it's less heavy. If you want
drink water out of
like chug the heavy kind.
Go drink water out of a tap if you want skim milk.
Wow, we have some like hot milk.
That's the most disappointing thing I've heard all week.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, so you say whole milk,
really
Peter?
Chug whole milk. Like whole milk is good, but you can't chug it. Where like skim milk, like
yes, you can. You can 100% chug whole milk.
You know the type of milk that we're not talking about that's like slept on, not 1%, but 2%. 2% milk might be the best milk out there.
I'm pretty sure is like what we had in my house growing up for the most part.
Like
when I was
the blue lid. Yeah, the 2% is the way to go. If you have to go a different direction, you're going to 1. You're not going to whole. Whole is like another step above. And then you have sit on both ends of the aisle here.
Well, we mostly have because like
she's drinking cheese and drinking water. There's nothing between the two.
I only put whole milk in my coffee because it tastes a little bit better. Like it tastes more like closer to like coffee shop coffee when there's whole milk in it. And also because like I have a kid that drinks whole milk, so like she's drinking whole milk because like calories, like fatty calories, like you need that. But I
get my fatty calories from Cold Stone. That's our difference.
So if anyone was listening before this podcast or thinking like, I wonder what Sydney, Peter, and Drew drink for their milk options, you now know.
Yeah, that's crazy to have one on each end.
If you were wondering, like, I wonder what their LinkedIn preferences are, like, you now know. And I hope you've been informed by this podcast.
Or if you're wondering whose wedding the leading scorer in Pine City High School history was in this summer.
Yeah, I don't.
We got all the boxes checked.
I don't think I had any prominent hockey people that I can think of at my wedding, unfortunately. So
I had absolutely 0 prominent hockey people.
That's a lie.
I also had a really small wedding.
Each one of our weddings had a hockey podcaster in their wedding. Think about it.
Oh my God. I need a hype video from Drew whenever I have to do something. I just need Drew to remind me that I am him. Thank you, Drew.
Well, you drink whole milk though, so I might not be giving that hype video anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go drink whole milk right now because I think we're done.
We're at the 1 hour mark, so we might as well wrap it up. I can hear my kid crying in the background, so should probably
go whole milk, dog.
Put some hockey on the TV, make it all more fun out there. So thanks again to everybody for joining us for a pretty off the rails episode of the YHH Junior Pod. Once again, I'm Sydney Wolf, joined by Peter Rodney and Drew Steele. Thanks to our sponsors, the USHL and APX Hockey, and we'll see you again next week.